Velondriake, meaning to live with the sea, is a locally managed marine area that was implemented by local villagers after seeing a decline in the size of the fisheries catches. The community worked in combination with Blue Ventures, Wildlife Conservation Society and Madagascar's Institute of Marine Science to create the first community-run marine protected area network in Madagascar. 21 local villages were involved in the process and developed marine protected areas covering more than 800 square kilometres. A recent study by Oliver et al. In 2015 found that closures had a positive impact on fisheries catches as well as village income without overall economic loss. This highlighted the importance of balancing conservation and socio-economic goals. Most of the 7,500 people living within the Velondriake area are Viso people, with fishing and gleaning tied into their cultural identity. The mean incomes of the Viso population are lower than $2 a day and heavily rely on seafood as a major protein source. Addressing both the needs of the fishing community as well as biodiversity goals created positive outcomes that allowed for the sustainable fishing of octopus that also facilitated community development. Harris, in 2009, discusses the success of the Marine Protected Area Network and emphasises the importance of local involvement in management. Velondriake is governed by DINA, the traditional law, which was created by village elders in conjunction with representatives from supporting NGOs. Together they decided on 8 marine protected areas that were permanently closed to fishing, 16 reef flat areas that were temporary no-take zones, 4 habitat protection zones for mangroves and seagrass, along with special management areas for ecotourism and aquaculture. By empowering communities with both skills and the resources to self-govern without NGO and donor support, local culture and livelihoods are supported, whilst the network of marine protected areas can continue to proliferate. In a later paper in 2011, Harris discusses the future of marine protected areas in the broader context of Madagascar's political framework. Madagascar is a poor country in political turmoil, lacking strong government institutions, as well as inconsistent or non-existent funding for environmental management. Locally managed marine areas are one of the most effective strategies for coastal management, given the dependence on the fisheries industry, both commercial and for subsistence, as well as the scarcity of funds for conventional management. As there is rarely any incentive for local communities to continue environmental management after donor support or long-term funding ends, low-cost and community-based management is a sustainable and realistic way to achieve conservation and development goals. Although local communities are given enforcement powers and are able to impose fines, the rate of compliance is high given the broad support and involvement in the creation of the DINA. Despite the large-scale community involvement in the Velondriake management, Westerman and Benbow, 2013, provide evidence of a gender imbalance within the local management. Women make up the majority of the octopus fishers, with 86% of women harvesting octopus and only 31% of men, as most of the men are involved in the finfish fishery. While men freedive with masts and spears to collect octopus, women glean octopus on the reef flats using only a spear. Hence they are restricted by low tides, with harvest occurring for only a few hours over 5 to 7 days every 2 weeks, in comparison to male fishers who are less restricted by tides and water depth. These restrictions mean that female fishers are absent on some of the days during the open harvest period, affecting their effort and subsequent income. The open harvest period is determined by the committee, which is comprised mostly of male elders and only 16% women. Despite their large presence within the octopus fishery, women are underrepresented in these meetings as they are busy with domestic duties and have little spare time. However, the outcomes of the meetings have a larger effect on their fishing efforts in comparison to the men making the decisions. If women continue to feel left out of management or feel a lack of ownership of the Velondriake, respect for DINA and compliance is likely to reduce. The success of the Velondriake is well documented. However, a recent paper by Gardner et al. 2017 highlights how this success does not automatically translate to other areas. Octopus fishers from Mexico were brought to Madagascar to learn and share knowledge of fisheries management, but were skeptical at how these practices would translate into their own fisheries. Mexican fishers are not only able to target octopus in deeper areas by the use of traps and pump-assisted diving, they noted a lack of social cohesion within their fishing communities, which may diminish the effects of local management. This paper emphasises the importance of understanding broader social context of marine protected areas and how they fit into a community as well as a country. In the face of degrading coral reefs, increasing human pressures, and subsequent declines in marine resources, the Velondriake Marine Network is a positive example of the importance of interdisciplinary, participatory, and contextual approaches to marine conservation.